Greetings and salutations, this is Kung Pao Enter the Minute, Minute 15. Opening frame. Master Tang, still wincing from the surprise moth attack, sitting down after swallowing the extra protein, exclaims,
"What are the odds of that?"
After a few seconds pause, he confides to the Chosen One that he is indeed the Chosen One, which causes Wimp Lo to leap into the air with accompanying squeaking shoes, exclaiming that,
Master, I was hoping one day I could be the Chosen One.
Master Tang chastises Wimp Lo, who proceeds to tell the Chosen One his exact feelings about him.
Master, I don't like him very much. Let's kill him.
As Master Tang commands him to sit down, a sad squeak is let out as Wimp Lo obeys.
I must apologize for Wimp Lo. He is an idiot. We have purposely trained him wrong, as a joke.
Master Tang explains that
Legend tells us that the true Chosen One will bear the mark of infinite wisdom.
to which the Chosen One reveals Tungi, causing everyone in the room to be alarmed or disgusted. As we get to the closing frame, Master Tang is halfway through asking,
What in God's name is...
So in once again a heavy minutes of dialogue and exposition, we get the proper introduction to, well, not necessarily one of my favourite characters, but he's the character you kind of love to beat up on, Wimp Lo. What's kind of funny is this scene is almost exactly the same in the original film. Okay, Wimp Lo isn't deliberately being taught to be incompetent, so I'm not even trying to tempt the original actor's name, but the character in the original movie, I'm not making this up, is named Kang. And unfortunately, I can't find anything to prove that the guys from Midway, when they were making Mortal Kombat, knew that Liu Kang was this character's name. Apparently, the name was derived from another character called Kang, so it appears at the face value that this is a complete coincidence. And it's a coincidence I absolutely love. So anyway, Liu Kang in the original movie is I guess you could say, the highest student in the Crane School. So I can't remember Master Tang's character's name, so I'm just going to use the Kung Pao terminology. So in the original movie, the Master tells Liu Kang that he has to train with Sang Chen, the Chosen One. So the idea is that the Tiger and Crane was supposed to be a simpatico martial art. There were two schools that should combine together, and unfortunately due to circumstances that never happened. The Crane School split off from the Tiger School. The Tiger School got practically decimated, particularly by Master Pain, and so Shen Chen is the last surviving member of the Tiger School, so he is the only one that can teach someone else the Tiger style, and conversely, for a better chance of defeating Master Pain, he has to be taught the Crane style. Yeah, I guess it's simple enough. Except, of course, like any martial art, there's egos involved, so particularly in regards to Liu Kang being the best student in the Crane School, he does not want to be taught the Tiger style. He's also offended because the Master tells him that he's got to be the subordinate to Sang Chen because he has technical seniority, because he is, by definition, the highest practitioner of the Tiger style. So, of course, that leads to the conflict, and we will see the fight between Sang Chen and Liu Kang in Kung Pao later on as the fight between the Chosen One and Wimp Lo. There is a lot of fighting that does get cut out, obviously, because Wimp Lo in this movie is supposed to be completely inept. And of course, there's the squeaky shoe gag. But in this scene, it runs almost exactly the same. The interactions between Wimp Lo and the Master, the Master chastising Wimp Lo for, not paying attention or not obeying his demands and stuff like that. So I have a confession. 15 minutes into this crazy experiment, I actually hadn't seen Tiger and Crane Fist. I tried to get it a few years ago and I couldn't find it, and I just found it just recently while doing research for this podcast. It was on YouTube. In this movie, what are they really saying? It's all in Mandarin. They managed to track down the original film so they could restore it. Thankfully, the YouTube version is in English, so I could actually follow on the story. And it's not a bad film. I really enjoyed it. It's more of a drama. So it's got martial arts, it's got a lot of different fighting and stuff like that, but it's really kind of this, it's not like a melodrama, but it is this drama about what's happening to, pretty much what was going on in China at that time of the when it was set during I said it in the previous, was the second Sino-Japanese War. So I really enjoyed it, but it was an absolutely surreal experience because I'm watching this movie and I've got this other movie playing in the back of my head the entire time, and I can quote the other movie almost verbatim, and my brain is not refusing to say some of the classic lines as things are happening. And there is a shocking amount of shirt ripping in that movie as well, especially because of those iron damn claws. I mean, I don't think we're going to be able to talk about this in later minutes, but I'll talk about it here. So there's actually a huge chunk of this movie towards the end that just doesn't appear in Kung Pao, and it's actually the spoilers for a 50-year-old movie. It's the death of Liu Kang. And I'm guessing the main reason they couldn't use that footage is for some absurd reason. Even though Liu Kang was wearing the blue suit throughout most of this movie, and of course Shang Chen is wearing the grey, which is what the Chosen One wears, he's wearing this kind of cream coloured suit. And what's really sad is that it's actually a really good scene. So please hunt it down. It's Liu Kang is on the beach being attacked by Master Pain and his minions, and it's kind of bloody. That's the other thing. This movie has some blood in it, and they kind of cut down a bit of they just made that a very intentional move to cut down some of the bloodiness and trying to keep it a little bit more PG. Well, when they could. Except for the blood spurts. I mean, yeah, I think they're just cartoonish enough. The original movie could get a little bit violent in that sense. Like, having someone just getting beaten up and, like, bloodied and, absolutely destroyed by this overwhelming force. It was. I'm kind of glad they didn't put it in, but at the same time, it's worth a watch. Just Google YouTube's and Tiger and Crane Fist. You'll be able to find it. That's where I got my copy from. I'm not posting any pictures, obviously. I'm just going to keep this as tonally somber as possible. Anyway, so just quickly, let's talk about the set construction of this particular scene. So every shot of the Chosen One that's like mid close-up is a studio, or it's a set that they built in a studio to match the rest of the scene. So all that was not digitally replaced. That was all original footage, filmed for the movie, and shot with the cinematography to match the original film. And it works. It works incredibly well. I don't recall who was the set designer on this film. I'll try and bring it up at a later date. Maybe they talk about it in the audio commentary at some point. They talk about the director of photography, John Connor. I know, cool name. And he was the guy who looked at a lot of the original footage and tried to match the cinematography in regards to like the camera moves, lighting, effects. They still had to do a lot of digital effects to like dirty up the film and stuff like that. But the effort paid off. And I think this scene is key to all of that. If this scene didn't work with the conversation between the Chosen One and Master Tang, then I think, it's not to say the rest of the movie would still be bad, but I think it really, the seamlessness of this really just deeply reinforces everything else about this film. Even when some of the special effects are a little bit shoddy, you can kind of see where they're going, and I think it helps move it along. So anyway, let's move on to the audio commentary. So in this, Steve explains his feelings towards the moth.
This moth thing was really late in the game. I think we were done with the film.
We were literally done. It had been delivered.
And this guy coughed a lot. In the original movie, he's really sick, and I think he dies in the original film. But he's really sick, and he almost dies from his sickness. And he was coughing so much.
Which is so funny, Steve, if you think about it.
No, it isn't. But I thought that it'd be great to add a moth in there that made him give some reason as to why he coughed so much. And Dave Merrill did that moth, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
That moth is nailed. It's like a real moth.
And he also adds a little bit of extra voiceover work.
Okay, deep voice tongue. Yay! Meow!
Yeah, the meow was the dog. So what are they really saying? So just like the previous minute, most of the dialogue in this is Mandarin. However, there is no English dialogue in it at all. So I was a little bit mistaken a few minutes ago when I said nothing to talk about. However, stripping out all the extra dialogue and listening to the original track, you can actually hear the repeated footage a lot clearer. You don't probably even notice it on screen because there's too much talking over it and you're focusing as much on the picture and the sound. But here is a clip. I'm not editing this. This is a clip for about 5-10 seconds just of the original footage, and you can hear the repeat.
他叫张胜强。他叫张胜强。
So finally, we're going to move on to the audiobook and this little choice nugget of dialogue.
If you've got an ass, I'll kick it.
So that is it. Minute 15. Jesus, that's a lot of minutes. That's a lot of minutes. So if you equate that to, like, say, $3 for coffee per minute, if someone gave me a coffee per minute, I would have, well, I guess almost $50. I mean, that's not too bad. I mean, you know, I like $3. That'd be nice. But I keep talking about money because it's 2020 and nobody has money. So it's fun to talk about money that nobody fucking has. Anyway, I have Patreon, I have Ko-fi, all links down there. Please follow me on Facebook and Twitter, and not Twitter. Why did I say Twitter? Please follow me on Facebook. I got Kung Pao Minute there, as well as Fanboy Crossing. I got YouTube and SoundCloud. Check those things out. Whichever one you're listening to, yeah, maybe listen to the other one. I don't know. Depends if you like your pictures with your noises. You know, or you just prefer your noises by yourself. I mean, I suppose I could put a picture one up without the noise, but it won't be that entertaining. Anyway, please like, share, comment, subscribe, hit bells and all the other bells and whistles that has to come with this social media malarkey. I say malarkey. I am not a supporter of Joe Biden. I am not paid by the Joe Biden party. He is explicitly anti-malarkey. I think if anything compound means I'm pro-malarkey. Fuck, that was dumb. I'm also really tired. So yeah, please share this around. I'd love to gain a bit more of an audience, and I literally can't do this without you, and I hope you're enjoying yourselves. I hope you get some enjoyment out of this dumbassery of mine. Once again, keep well, I'll see ya.